All right, back for another Whodunit beer review, and today I'm reviewing a Whodunit beer that was sent to me by a good friend of mine, Todd. So thank you very much, Todd. He actually sent me a beer mail recently, and I will post a link in the description box to said beer mail if you guys want to check out all the beers he sent my way. Although at this point, I have reviewed every single beer from the beer mail except for this one. In fact, a few weeks ago, I did 450 North Brewing Company theme week on the channel. He sent me 5 beers from them. It was an awesome experience. They make some great beer, and I thought I would save potentially the best for last. I have no idea, because it's a Whodunit beer. So if you guys are unfamiliar with what Whodunit beers are, basically they're blind beer reviews or mystery beers where somebody will wrap up and conceal a beer. They will either send or give me said beer, and then I will review the beer and try to guess the style, ABV, and I'm feeling good enough, maybe the actual beer itself. I tried it once, didn't go well. We'll see if I ever do it again. So yeah, thanks a lot, Todd. This should be a lot of fun. Now, the one thing about Whodunit beers in general are that preconceived notions pretty much go out the window, except for in a few cases. Now, looking at this beer, it is wrapped up in a paper towel and duct tape, and I know it's in a 12-ounce can. So my first thought, I guess, is that this is probably from a bigger craft brewery. I mean, so many of these smaller craft breweries and regional craft breweries, they're using, 16-ounce cans, 4-packs, but this is a 12-ounce can. So I'm thinking Sierra Nevada, say Stone, Victory, something like that. But here's the thing. On the top here, it is gold-plated. So now I'm starting to think to myself, is this a macro beer, American Adjunct Lager? So I usually don't have a lot of preconceived notions, but with this one, yeah, I'm saying right now that it's seeming to me like a bigger brewery. Not necessarily a macro brewery, but maybe a bigger craft brewery. I have no idea. I can't think off the top of my head any craft breweries that use gold-plated tops, although I'm sure there are some out there. I haven't seen it, at least not locally. So I have no idea. That's the only thing that I can think of. It might be a macro beer or maybe a bigger brewery, but I have no idea about the beer. I'm just gonna do a little bit of roll here. I have no idea what kind of beer this is, style or whatever. So I'm thinking I pour this and it's crystal clear. I'm gonna say to myself, yeah, I know what I'm talking about, but I usually don't. So this has been out of the fridge for about 45 minutes. And because of that, I am thinking we should be good. I actually did a Whodunit beer last weekend from Kyle, and it ended up being Imperial Biscotti Break from Evil Twin, and I was wishing I had that out of the fridge for like at least an hour because I didn't pick up on a lot of adjuncts. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so that's why you don't have preconceived notions, because of things like that where you think, oh man, this might be, it's a weird-ass color to the head. Anyway, whatever. We're just going to talk about the beer here, not preconceived notions. Anyway, that pours out. So my first look, and I don't know how it's going to come off on camera, but this looks like there is some kind, it has to be some kind of fruit. The head has this weird, like tannish, pinkish, purplish head. It's very light, but it's definitely noticeable. And the beer itself, first guess would be like an American Brown Ale, American Porter, maybe an Imperial Stout, something like that. But the head is dissipating quite quickly. But yeah, this has like a deep purple tinge to it almost, especially the head. That looks crazy. Looks kind of creamy, but like I said, the head's dissipating. Yeah, I'm going to say there has to be probably some kind of fruit in here, or maybe hibiscus or something to mess with the color. Anyway, let's get aroma. Yeah, there's fruit. First thing comes to mind is jammy, very jammy. I'm going to say raspberry into blackberry kind of. Yeah, definitely raspberry, blackberry. A big chocolate presence too, like a milk chocolate presence to it. Don't know if there's cocoa nibs in here or some kind of like natural chocolate flavor, or if that's actually coming from the malts themselves. I'm also getting this slightly vanilla-esque tinge to this one, but also a metallic edge as well. It's making me think, in my mind anyway, milk stout vibes. I've mentioned this plenty of times. I'm against goat milk stout, and another one I did too where I get metallic aromas when there's lactose used in darker beers, especially in milk stouts. And I'm kind of getting that here, not full on, not as big, but kind of. Definitely smells sweeter. There's a little bit of like a roasted malt character, slight tinges of like coffee. Yeah, it smells very dessert-like. I would say almost pastry stout-like in the aroma. So let's get into it. Thanks again, Todd, and cheers, everyone. No doubt there is some kind of berry in here. And it tastes like raspberry to me. Maybe blueberry? Definitely some chocolate too. This is kind of like, and I can't say off the top of my head I've ever had any. I've had like, you know, chocolate dipped strawberries or chocolate covered strawberries. This is kind of like chocolate covered raspberries. Kind of. Definitely slight vanilla tones. I would bet drinking this, okay, so first off, we'll go to the body. The body's like straight up medium body, maybe even a little lighter. The mouthfeel has a slight creaminess to it, but it does have enough carbonation to let you know that it is carbonated. We'll say a moderate amount of carbonation. And definitely to the sweeter side of things. So the first thing that my palate picks up on the front end are those raspberries. Well, I think raspberries. If it's not raspberries, it's probably in like the blackberry realm of things, more so than blueberry. But I'll say straight up raspberries. So we'll go raspberries. As it passes through the palate, that chocolate hits. And I'm not 100% confident there's like chocolate in here, whether it's cacao nibs or natural chocolate flavor or whatever, or if it's just the malt character. But it kind of evolves into like chocolate covered raspberries. As it finishes on the palate, there's a slight tinge of vanilla, semi-dry finish, and that metallic nose did not carry over. And I've mentioned this before about milk stouts, like I said earlier, that doesn't usually carry over. Usually it's all the metallic in the nose, very rarely translates into the taste. So I am thinking this base is a milk stout. If it is a milk stout, it's a bit thin. There is an ever so slight, I don't say alcohol astringency, but this is drinking bigger than like body itself. I would guess like 5 to 5.5, but I'm getting a bit of alcohol that makes me think this is in like the 6.5 to like 7 range. Yeah, not much more to say. Oh, what do I guess here? I don't think it's a straight on pastry stout. Like I don't think if I rip this off, it's going to say pastry stout on it. At the core is that raspberry and chocolate. But as far as like the base beer goes, I'm going to say it's a straight up milk stout. There's lactose in there. That's what I'm going to guess based on the nose, based on what I'm tasting. Let's say straight up milk stout. I am going to say that there's some kind of berry in here, but if I had to guess, it would be a raspberry. Wouldn't be surprised if it's blackberries or maybe even blueberries, but I'm going to say straight up raspberries. I do think there's chocolate involved. Don't necessarily know if it's cocoa nibs or like an artificial chocolate. It's not a super sweet chocolate, so I will say cocoa nibs just because I feel like if it was natural chocolate flavor, it would have more like a Hershey's chocolate, whether it's like a milk chocolate or a special dark would be a sweeter. So I think they're using cacao nibs. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's the malt, but I'm going to say cacao nibs. I'm going to put the ABV at, I said 6.5 to 7, right? I'm going to say 6.9. So milk stout that is brewed with raspberries, cocoa nibs, 6.9%. How fucking wrong am I going to be? Pretty wrong. Let's see. Let me actually pour the rest in here. So when I start getting into this duct tape, see if I can actually, the duct tape is trying to preserve everything here. I can't even get this. This is going to be a lot of fun for you guys. I can't even grab the duct tape. Come on. This is where it is. It's this thing, duct tape. Okay. We got the top going, baby. Dusty Joe coming out for this one, baby. There's a little beer on here, so I'll just wipe it up with whatever. Just rip it down here. Braxton Brewing Company. Well, wouldn't you know it? Holy shit, I did extremely well. All right, so this is Braxton Brewing Company's Grader's Black Raspberry Chocolate Chip Milk Stout. Yeah, that just happened. You know, I usually sit here and I'm like, I didn't hit it or whatever. I'm going to own this one and I'm going to say I did a pretty fucking good job. I probably, well, what's the ABV? Let me settle down. 7%, 6.9. Oh, man. All right, let's see. In a resistible collaboration between two handcrafted families, this delicious beer is dominated by black raspberry overtones with fresh chocolate and a very slight roast in the finish that every great milk stout should have a reasonable addition of lactose. Should have, oh, period. Okay, I don't know how to read. A reasonable addition of lactose makes this a slightly sweeter stout, just like your favorite ice cream. So you know what? I remember talking to Todd and Rod about this beer and wanting this beer shit, it had to be almost a year ago. I think they released this maybe, well, it says 1/30/18. So yeah, I mean, we're talking at time of review, like 10 and a half months ago. Totally forgot about this beer. It just says stout brewed with lactose, cocoa nibs, and raspberry puree. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could have done a better job. It does say black raspberries, although, I mean, listen, if someone's gonna give me shit on black raspberries, then so be it. Chocolate chip, yeah, but like yeah, it's a milk stout with cocoa nibs and raspberry. Yeah, and this one's aged, like I said, it's like 10 months old, like over 10 months by the time I'm drinking this. It's like 10 and a half months old. Yeah, I'm kind of in shock that I did as well as I did, honestly. Really cool to be able to try this one. It is really nice. I didn't mention rating. I would say it's nice. It's not like crazy or amazing. I'd say like a straight 4 out of 5. I'm enjoying this one. I think Rod didn't really care for this one, and Todd enjoyed it. They did mention, right, that this is the Graders is an ice cream company, I believe in the Cincinnati area. So the fact that they collaborated with a local ice cream maker and made a stout, New York Beer Project here in Lockport, New York, they do the same thing. Perry's Ice Cream in New York is pretty popular, and they do a whole line of it. So I'm not, listen, I'm speechless right now. You see, I'm like flabbergasted. I can't believe I did as well as I did. I was off by 0.1 on the percentage, and I said raspberries instead of black raspberries, but as is, I am super pumped about this one. Not only be able to try this one because I wanted to try it, and I mentioned it to Todd and Rod earlier this year. The fact that Todd sent this as a blind beer was pretty cool because I do enjoy this beer. I gave it a 4 out of 5, like I said. And the fact that I was able to pick out most of the adjuncts in here, the fruit and the chocolate, considering that this is almost a year old, I'm happy. So I finally did extremely well on one of these. The last couple have been not that great, so I'm really happy about it. Anyway, I'm gonna shut this down before it's like 20 minutes of me just gloating about how right I was or whatnot. They say every now and then a blind squirrel finds a nut, and I just so happen to do so today. So anyway, appreciate Todd sending this one out to me. That's it for the Whodunit in the near future. I have no more. So if anybody out there wants to do a beer mail trade and send some more, I'll even send some your way if you're a beer tuber and you want to do them on your channel. Mystery beer / Whodunit beers. They're a lot of fun. So appreciate you guys stopping by, and until the next one, cheers.